Give EMP 180 a look, and you're going to lose that weight. You know that you should. Get a jump start on that New Year's resolution. You can check them out for a consultation in Alexandria, Rockville, Woodbridge, Tyson's Corner, and a brand
Hello
new
there,
location
and welcome
out
to
in
this
Ashburn.
first round of the tournament.
855-888-0180.
Anticipation
Or visit
is rampant today.
EMP180weightloss.com.
Let's see what
or just
you do.
Google EMP 180.
For Mervis Diamond Importers, I'm Ronnie Mervis. Mervis is the source for the most admired diamonds in the world. Our Forever Mark diamonds are stunningly beautiful because the best raw material is used, and the diamonds are cut and polished to the highest degree of excellence. They leave all ordinary diamonds in the shade. Mervis is proud to be the home of Forever Mark diamonds. At Mervis, your diamonds are rare, beautiful, and responsibly sourced. When you marry a Mervis diamond with our exclusive designer engagement rings, her heart will go boom-bitty-boom.
Nice
You
swing.
may need to call a doctor. Our diamonds are so special, they're not available on internet sites. Mervis is a direct importer. When you're searching for value, quality, and service, you can't beat Mervis. You don't have to choose between what's important and a great price. You get both. With Mervis Financing, you can get the ring of her dreams right now. If you've got the honey, we've got the money. Mervis Diamond Importers. Go to mervisdiamond.com or call 800-HER-LOVE. Again, that's mervisdiamond.com or call 800-HER-LOVE.
Live and local. You're listening to The Larry O'Connor Show.
That was really something. I want to just thank everybody for the way you behaved. That was beautiful. And that at the end was beautiful. Amazing Grace. Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was beautiful. And there's the president again.
Nice.
The president spent the entire time telling the doctor to take his time, asking people to say a prayer, which ended up in a spontaneous, proud rendition of Amazing Grace. And he actually told people to focus on
For
the doctor.
the birdie
This is one of
here.
our great people here, this doctor. He's fantastic. So now, do you remember in the 2012 election when it seemed to happen all the time that people would faint at Obama events? Here's one in New Hampshire. Listen.
To be back in New Hampshire. Oh, so okay, we'll be all right. They probably were just standing too long. Just give them a little space. Okay, where's our EMS folks? They'll be okay. Just give them a little space. This happens sometimes. You guys been here a while? After the nagging?
Way to start out with the par. Good stuff.
You have to eat ahead of time. Keep your blood
Okay, it's
sugar
time to send this ball on its way.
Yeah, I'm used to this. You should have eaten something. North Carolina.
Looks like somebody might have fainted up here. If we got some of the EMS, somebody. Don't worry about it. Folks do this all the time in my meetings. I mean,
This happens all the time to me. I'm used to it, you know. When you're a rock star, like, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to beat up on Obama, but it just reminded me of how he behaved at these moments compared to what happened last night. And I'm telling you, this happened all the time.
he's not asking you to do it to invest. I'm sure they're okay. Sometimes folks faint because they've been standing too long.
Sweet.
So we just need a
Okay,
paramedic
looks like
right here in
about
the front.
235 yards
They'll be
to
okay.
the
Just
pin.
give them room. That's all. This happens to me all the time.
All the time. You ever see Hard Day's Night when the Beatles have to run through town and the women are screaming and they're fainting and they can't get it out? That's when you're me, this is what happens all the time. Do you notice how he made everything about him? I'm sorry. Again, oh, you're always beating up on Obama.
Well,
yeah,
looks like this may be in the deep stuff.
Yeah, I am. Roy, Mount Airy, here on WMAL, Roy.
Hi, Larry. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
And thank you for carrying the torch for us guys that don't have a broadcast voice. Appreciate it. Yeah, I had a comment about the way Trump handled the situation with the incident last night, and I thought he was just right on target. He was sympathetic, and when the crowd spontaneously sang Amazing Grace, it just choked me right up.
Yeah, it sure did, Roy. I just got choked up playing it, and I'm glad it had that effect on you too, Roy. Thank you. And Trump's response was very human. It was a very
21
human
feet to the
response,
cup
and I think
from
that
here.
he was overwhelmed by the moment too. All right, I want to get your analysis here. If in fact all the experts are right, and the House goes to the Dems by a slim majority, and the Republicans actually grow their seats in the Senate, what does that mean? What are we supposed to take away from that? Explain it to me. I've got a hunch, but I'd like to hear from you. 888-630 WMAL. How about Brian in Virginia? You're first up, Brian. What do you say?
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I think simply our country was founded on checks and balances system, and as much as we don't want to have it, it has to happen for us to maintain the stability. So I take away from it that the checks and balance system works, and hopefully will, send a little bit of message to the Democrats to, in fact, be about the country instead of about, division.
Of course, the checks and balances put in place by our founders in the Constitution, we didn't have any political parties at the time. The checks and balances are between the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch. But I think what you're saying, Brian, and I've heard other people make this case, that whenever one party gains too much power in this country, Americans inherently and instinctively pull back a little bit because they want some kind of balance in there because of the political party structure.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Brian. I don't. You betcha, Brian. My pleasure. I don't discount that necessarily. I really don't. There may be some truth to that. I also think, by the way, the Republicans had reached a point, certainly in the state houses with governors, that there's not a whole lot more for them to grow, frankly, right now. What do they have, 38, 39 of the governor seats right now? I mean there's going to be a
all right, this next one's for Birdie.
In another direction at some point, too. And compared to what we saw in 2010, when Obama lost over 60 seats in the House, why didn't they call that a red wave? I'm just curious. Why wouldn't they have? Crimson Tide, something? No, didn't hear that, did you? 524 WMAL.
Washington's Mall, WMAL, where Washington comes to talk.
Why do you go to Princeton Longevity Center?
We go to Princeton Longevity Center because my husband's cardiologist told him having this exam saved his life.
Because somehow 20 turned into 40, and now I need to take my health more seriously. The Princeton Longevity Center designed a program to keep me healthy and active, so 50 and 60 will be no sweat.
Because even though my cholesterol is high, it turned out my arteries are clear. That's a big relief.
Whether you want to
and
make
with
the most
that,
of your future
you
years
will
or just
stay
want
at
peace
Eden
of mind,
Park.
you need the Princeton Longevity Center.
Fourth hole
Their
coming up.
comprehensive preventive
Take your best
exam
shot.
combines the latest technology with caring experts to create your personal plan for staying well.
Because I shouldn't have to wait an hour for a 10-minute physical. I go to Princeton Longevity Center because I get everything done in one day and take my results home with me.
Find out why you need Princeton Longevity. Call 888-8000-PLC or go to PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. Call 888-8000-PLC. That's 888-8000-PLC.
525 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes first on the 5s. Ed Rodriguez is in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Well, this looks nice. In Vienna, we got a little bit of improvement.
Solid
Westbound
swing.
on 66. You're first going to jam up between Nutley Street and 123. Then you get a little breather to the Fairfax County Parkway. After that, hit stop and go to the Bull Run Rest Area. Eastbound delays reach from Route 7 to
this shot's looking like we have about a $1.95 to go.
Still jammed solid from 123 down to 66. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, here's the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain will shift out of here pretty rapidly tonight. Looks like the next couple of days are going to be nice. The rain is back by Friday, though, and much colder weather headed in by the weekend. Might not see highs getting out of the 40s for Saturday and Sunday. Some of the coldest air so far this fall. Arriving here in Washington by the weekend. Rain ends tonight. Then skies clear overnight. Lows around 50. Partly sunny and mid-60s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau from the Weather Channel on WMAL.
Right now, 60 degrees in your nation's capital, 526.
Redskins fans, sleep like the pros. Mattress Warehouse is proud to carry bed gear products found in the homes of your favorite
looks like
players.
about 18
As the official
feet
mattress
from here.
and pillow provider of the Washington Redskins, bed gear can be found at your local Mattress Warehouse. Visit sleephappens.com.
One under for the round.
To learn more about our programs and to donate, go to carsforkids.com.
Okay, let's plunk her in the fairway.
It's quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS
accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and real estate donations. The stories that have been breaking while you've been at work. This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
From the moment we began our election coverage today at 3 o'clock, you have loaded these phone lines.
Great contact.
You want to
Nice
talk
swing.
about today's election, and I'm not getting in your way. But what's your analysis? If you believe the experts and the Democrats get a slim little majority in the House, but the Republicans actually grow their majority in the Senate, then what's the takeaway? Tom and Chantilly, you are on WMAL.
So, hi, Larry. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Okay, my point would be, if it goes like you say, and they get 2, 4, 6 seats in the Senate, but only lose by, say, 10 seats in the House, that is a continuation of President Trump's mandate from 2016. All right? Evidence. Look at what happened to President Obama in 2010. He was shellacked.
Looking good.
Yep.
Right? And typically, don't they lose 35 seats anyway?
The average is between 25 and 35, Tom.
This
yep.
one's
so
a birdie.
This result would be right in keeping with the last 5 decades.
Well, they might make something out of it, but think of it this way. Only losing 10 seats in the midterm election when typically they lose far more than that. And look at how, what did they spend, $2 billion, the Democrats?
Well, yes. Not only that, not only is it the most expensive midterms we've ever seen in history, but also let's not forget the relentless campaigning from the mainstream media that they didn't have to pay one dime for. Since the day of the election 2 years ago this week, we have seen relentless, over 90% negative coverage of the president and his party. It is actually, I don't understand
2 under for the
why
round.
they're not winning 60 seats, given that. I mean, it's a disaster, I think, for Democrats that it's even close tonight.
Hole number
Francisco
6.
Falls Church, you are on WMAL. Hey, Francisco.
Hi, Larry. I have to say that if the Democrats win the House, it's not a mandate. I think that, unfortunately, there's a significant part of our population that literally is influenced by the media. That it's so obvious that their news is a bunch of lies. And then you have another segment of the population of new voters who are out of high school, out of college, who have been pretty much brainwashed. So I just see people who are totally misinformed who are voting, and they may tip the scale at this midterm election.
All right. Thank you. Listen, they're going to try to say, Francisco, that if the Democrats win a 1-seat majority, then that's a mandate to just stop Trump. See, resistance works. Resistance wins. It's bull. All right, much more. Stay on the line. I want to hear from you and a little bit about how the polls are still open and you need to vote. That and Sean Spicer next on WMAL.
WMAL FM Woodbridge, WMAL Washington. Your first place Redskins play here. 105.9 FM and AM 630. WMAL, a Cumulus station. News now.
WMAL News at 5:30. I'm Maria Leaf. Roughly 90 minutes left to vote in Virginia, and turnout keeps climbing in places like Loudoun County.
The rain has cleared in Ashburn, and people are steadily coming to cast votes. Turnout in this precinct is already at 41% compared to 2014's 31%, and steadily climbing. A volunteer handing out Democratic sample ballots says he's running out of them.
I think only about 15 people turned them down in a way that made me think they were on the other side.
In Loudoun County, I'm Win Delano on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The polls in Maryland close at 8, and people voting at the Diamond Elementary School in Gaithersburg aren't having any issues making their voices heard.
No line when I got here, so really quick. This woman says there's been a big push to get out the vote this year.
Wow, that was just awesome. Huge
vote,
putt.
So
3 under for the round.
Today. The people we talked to today said the president did play a role in their decision-making. For this Central American immigrant here legally, the president
nice solid birdie on that last hole. We got another birdie in the works here.
Illegal friends that and they're really good person. They're not bad people, as how he called them.
In Gaithersburg, Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen says Democrats running for Senate seats will have a tough fight.
Turnout has been good in the early vote, and turnout is good around the country. So let's wait and see. But this is a very tough road for Democrats to get to a majority in the Senate. In fact, I think the real story is the fact that we're fighting it out at the point we are.
And stay with WMAL for complete election results tonight as they come in. In other news this evening, the migrant caravan
Looks like you'll be in the short
has
stuff
become
here.
a migrant convention as it stopped at a soccer stadium in Mexico City to take on donated food, clothing, and medical care. More than 2,000 people showed up there since Sunday, and thousands more could arrive by tomorrow. Hundreds of city employees and even more volunteers were on hand to sort donations and direct migrants towards food, water, diapers, and other basics. Another case of hazing shutting down a local college institution.
This is the Bowie State University Marching Band at last year's Thanksgiving Day Parade in Montgomery County. Whether they'll perform this year is up in the air. The entire band has been suspended as the school investigates possible hazing. The university says it took the action against the Symphony of Soul Band to ensure the continued safety of students. No word on any specific allegations. The school's not talking, and police tell WMAL they're not involved.
Going to need to bite.
John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Duncan Hines is recalling
Okay, ended
2.4
up nice
million
and safe.
boxes of cake
Still a little
mix.
work to do,
The
though.
recall affects Classic White, Classic Butter Golden, Signature Confetti, and Classic Yellow varieties of cake mix. That according to ConAgra Brands, Duncan Hines' parent company. The affected boxes have expiration dates between March 7th through 13th, 2019. In a statement, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said it informed ConAgra after it tested a sample of cake mix and found that it contained salmonella. It was the same strain that sickened people in 5 cases, reported to the Centers for Disease Control. The FDA says consumers should not eat or bake with the mix. I'm Marlis Majerus.
Checking your money, the Dow finished the day up 173 points. The S&P 500 up 17. The NASDAQ up 47. WMAL Sports brought to you by TrueCar. The Wizards are at Dallas tonight. Tip-off at 8:30. WMAL traffic and weather next.
Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore.
Okay,
with
so
TrueCar
that'll
from
keep
TrueCar.
you at
Now
3
you
under
can know
for
the
the
exact
round.
price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. When
Okay,
you're
let's
ready
get
to
this
buy
ball
a new or
smash.
used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Now you can listen to WMAL at home, at work, or anywhere in the world on your Amazon Echo device. For one-time setup, say Alexa, enable WMAL skill. Once that's done, whenever you want to listen, simply say Alexa, play WMAL. More details at WMAL.com.
What do we really know about Liberal Democrat Abigail Spanberger and her policies? Well, we know she'd eliminate the tax cuts that have helped Virginia families. We know Spanberger supports sanctuary cities in Virginia and that she defended the violent gang MS-13. We know her liberal health care plan would bankrupt Medicare as we know it, a $32 trillion spending increase that would double our taxes. She wants socialized medicine that puts government in charge of your health care instead of you. We know that Spanberger
Solid
would be
swing.
a rock-solid vote to make Nancy Pelosi the Speaker of the House. And we know she'd vote for impeachment of the president. Liberal Democrat Abigail Spanberger. Tax hikes.
Okay, about
sanctuary
185
cities,
yards
bankrupt
left to
Medicare,
go here.
And a rubber stamp for Nancy Pelosi. What else do we need to know?
I'm Dave Bratt. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of Dave Bratt, Inc.
Michigan, business-friendly environment that ranks among the best in the nation.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here's Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Well, we're starting to break up that big delay on I-66 with things slow westbound in Vienna from Nutley Street to 123, then in Centerville from the Fairfax County Parkway out to the Bull Run Rest Area. Eastbound
Great
stop and go
contact.
Falls Church from the Dulles Connector to Sycamore Street. Westbound, the toll road jams up from Wolf Trap to Wheelie Avenue. Inbound on the Dulles Connector, we're slow from 123 to I-66. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Clear skies tonight, low 48. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 66. It's
for
58
Birdie.
in Silver Spring, 60 at Reagan National. I'm Maria Leaf on Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Now, the Larry O'Connor Show. At AM 630.
We're going to check in with Sean Spicer in about 10 minutes. We're going to hand it off in 30 minutes to the great one, Mark Levin. He's going to have extensive coverage of these midterm election results over the next 3 hours. And then at 9 p.m., I'll start our special WMAL midterm election coverage well into the evening to midnight at least. Steve Moore's going to join us. We'll check in with former Governor Ehrlich of Maryland and former Congressman Davis of Virginia and Dave Fossey, a whole lot more. Keep it here on WMAL. And real fast, listen, it's 5:37 right now in Washington. The polls close at 7 in Virginia, and I'm specifically talking to you in Virginia 10.
And that'll keep you at 3 under for the
Clark
round.
Counties. Are you going to let the
we have the ninth hole
suburbanites
coming up.
in a small sliver of Fairfax County determine your representation? Are you going to let a bunch of Democrats who maybe used to live in Alexandria or used to live in Washington, D.C., who made a pile of money during the Obama years, and now they've moved out to the Dulles area, maybe in Ashburn, so they can have a little bit of a backyard now so their dogs can roam around. Are you going to let those Democrats who have now just moved into your district with their big, cushy K Street lawyer job that they made through all their connections with the Democrats in the Obama administration, you're going to let them determine who your congressman's going to be? Are you really going to sit back and decide, no, that's fine. That's fine. We'll let our district change. We'll let people in Fairfax County
and looks like
who
I'd say 160 yards or so out from the
House is going to be. If you have not yet voted, especially those of you in Frederick and Clark counties and out there in the northwestern part of Loudoun County, if you have not yet voted, now's the time. Get in the car, stand in line. If you're in line at 7 p.m., your vote will count. And let me tell you something. Virginia 10, you know who you are? Every single vote is going to count tonight. So if you haven't voted, I don't know what more to tell you, but it's time. The Republican Party needs you, and you could be the vote that keeps Nancy Pelosi from getting that gavel. It's mission critical time now.
Okay,
and we're looking
for the
at
birdie.
An hour and 20 minutes left for you to make a difference in this country. So get it done. Now, I want to continue talking to you about what these results mean. If you believe the experts, and by the way, I don't. I think the Republicans could keep their majority, which, by the way, is a monumental, historic victory for the Republicans and for President Trump, and a devastating defeat for the Democrats and the mainstream media. I think they could still hold a slim majority in the House. But if the Democrats win that slim majority, 10 seats or less, but Republicans gain seats in the Senate, what's the takeaway? Is there any mandate at that point? Ken in Virginia, you are next up here on WMAL. Hey, Ken.
Hi, Larry. I agree with your previous call.
Okay, let's see what you can do with his 8-footer.
First of all, I think we could keep the House in the Senate. I think that's very real. Your previous caller said if they do end up taking the House, it would only be by a few seats, and that is far from any mandate.
Yeah.
So with that said, here's the other unscientific litmus test that I'm looking at. Larry, we're still seeing these outrageous turnouts. Every time Trump goes and stumps for a candidate on either House or Senate, the place will hold, 3, 5, 10,000, and there'll be 20,000 people outside who tried to get in.
Yeah.
You're seeing the same type of turnout. We're seeing a bigger turnout now in 2018.
And after 9 holes, you're doing great. Keep up the good work.
Exactly what
See you on the back nine.
Hillary Clinton's going to get it by 90%. I don't understand the math.
Yeah.
I don't see why this is going to happen a second time. We're going to hopefully wake up tomorrow. Maybe we know tonight. But if it's the same thing as last time, I think we've got some good news ahead of us. And again, very unscientific, but that's the way I'm reading it.
Ken, I get you, and I understand how that can make you think that way. Let me shed a little light on it. I think, and listen, I could be wrong about this. Trust me, I'm hardly an expert. I'm an observer. I'm a participant just like you. But I think I have some perspective on this. A couple of things. The rallies you're seeing and how great the crowds are. Missouri, Indiana, Florida, Texas.
Nice.
Those are very important and very relevant to the statewide races, all right? He's in Missouri because of Claire McCaskill's seat is up for grabs there in Missouri. Indiana, same thing.
So we
Florida,
have about 165 yards to go still.
Texas was about Ted Cruz. You look at those states. If he had done a rally like that and the turnout would have been like that and he did it out in Loudoun County, I'd agree with you. See, we can see huge rallies for Trump and huge rallies for Republican candidates on a state-by-state basis and have it not reflect what's going to happen in the House because there's a huge number of House seats up for grabs right now in California. We're not seeing any rallies in California. There's a big number of seats up for grabs in New York, in Pennsylvania, in Illinois. See? So it's just like the electoral
let's get this
college
ball onto the
equation
green
in
so we
its
can
own
start
way.
with the putting.
We could see huge turnouts in those states, and that's going to push those statewide races over the edge, and that's why we're predicting that the Republicans will gain some seats in the Senate. Yet at the same time, those narrow House districts will go the other way because they're in states that are not necessarily friendly to Trump or the Republicans. That's the answer, I believe. How about John in Germantown? John, you are on WMAL.
Yes, hi.
Hi, John.
I was so proud of my youngest daughter. She voted for the first time.
10-footer here.
And,
I think this can go.
She's a Democrat, and voted straight Republican.
Wow. In Maryland, in Montgomery County, Maryland, with you?
In Montgomery County, Maryland.
So did you talk to her about it? What was her reason for that?
She thinks that the Democrats have acted like a bunch of lunatics.
Well,
and I think she's right.
I think she cut right through it. There you go.
I'm a Democrat, and I feel the same way. I think our party's been hijacked and by a bunch of lunatics of the left. And
10-footer here. This is makeable.
Time for change.
John, I think you're right, and I hope there's more of you. And I hope there's more of you and your daughter. Mike in Sunshine, you're on WMAL. What do you think, Mike?
Thanks, Les, for taking my call. You know, you're right. The party not in the White House has picked up about 30 seats and in the House and 2 in the Senate. They're not going to take the Senate. We're going to actually pick up a couple of seats.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to get 30, but if they take they're 1 seat ahead of us. They have a 1-seat majority. Get ready for the media to claim it is a blue tsunami.
Yes.
And get ready for the when the Republican upsets an incumbent Democrat. That story is going to get buried. But the reverse, that Democrat who upsets the incumbent
that performance is going to put you up to even par.
Those stories.
Absolutely right, Mike.
All right.
That's exactly
Let's
how
let her rip.
It, but we know better. We're smarter than that. By the way, the Republican that upsets a Democrat that's not on anyone's radar, that no one's watching, maybe I'm biased because it's my home state. Keep an eye on Michigan tonight. Just check in on Michigan now and again. There could be a story brewing over there. Sean Spicer joins us next here on WMAL.
Washington's Mall, WMAL, where Washington comes to talk.
When hiring a company to replace your roof, make sure to choose one that believes in more than simply doing a job to make a profit. Valor Roofing believes in taking care of our veteran heroes and their families by every means within our power. Hi, Adam Kincaid here, owner of Valor Roofing. My father, a Vietnam War veteran, started and built our company upon the core principles of honor, respect, and trust. This way of doing business has helped Valor become one of the most hired and trusted roofers in our region. In honor of Veterans Day, I'd like to introduce you to Valor's 4th quarter Raise a Roof recipient, retired Corporal Donald Scott Dinsmore of the United States Marine Corps. Corporal Dinsmore was stationed overseas during Operation Desert Storm and worked as part of our nuclear biological defense team. Thanks for your bravery and service, Corporal. The cold weather is finally here, and this week when you choose Valor Roofing, I'll give you the shingles on the backside of your roof completely free when you buy them for the front. Plus, get a free upgrade to HD architectural shingles. Call for your free estimate today, 703-721-4931, or visit valorexteriors.com.
5:45, now WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5s, Ed Rodriguez is in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
And before we get Sean Spicer in here, I want to say happy anniversary with WMAL, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. 6 years today. That's very nice of you.
That's great. Northbound 395 is going to take you about 6 years to get from the Pentagon to the 3rd Street Tunnel. Then from South Capitol Street, we're stranded again over to the 11th Street Bridge. Westbound on the freeway, stop and go from South Capitol Street to the Case Bridge. Southbound 395 jammed all the way from the Pentagon down to Duke Street. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain will shift out of here pretty rapidly tonight. Looks like the next couple of days are going to be nice. The rain is back by Friday, though, and much colder weather headed in by the weekend. Might not see highs getting out of the 40s for Saturday and Sunday. Some of the coldest air so far this fall. Arriving here in Washington by the weekend. Rain ends tonight. Then skies clear overnight. Lows around 50, partly sunny and mid-60s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau from the Weather Channel on WMAL.
Right now, it's 60 degrees in your nation's capital at 5:47.
Looking to refinance? This is Chris Plant, and my friend Mark Livingstone and his team at Cornerstone First Financial are the mortgage professionals that I recommend. Call Mark at 202-625-1221.
And that'll keep you at even par. Nice.
Sarah and Debbie Reynolds, the Reynolds team with
12th
Keller
hole
Williams.
coming up.
It's
Take your
exactly
best shot.
who you need to call to sell your home. They have the experience, been doing this as a family for over 30 years here in the greater Washington area. They're ranked one of the top teams in the entire area here by the Wall Street Journal. They sell homes faster, 3 times faster than the average agent. They make their sellers more money. They net them 6% more money on average. That works out to about $30,000. when all is said and done. All of those things are working in their favor, and they have the buyers. I mean, when you want to try to sell something and you need an agent to help you sell it, don't you want to go with the agent who has the buyers already for your product? And this is a pretty big product, your home. I mean, that's a big ticket item. And they have the buyers. They have over 7,000 pre-qualified buyers. And they're so confident that they're going to sell your home that they'll guarantee
say around 105 yards or so to the pin
price,
here.
Or they're going to pay you the difference. So when you sign with them, you've basically sold your home. Call 844-344-SOLD, 844-344-SOLD, or go to DebbieHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
Hi, I'm Patrick Fingles, owner of New Look Home Design. November marks the start of the holiday season, and that means a lot of guests. But there's that one guest that causes lots of trouble. It doesn't bring fruitcake, pumpkin pie, or sweet potato casserole. All it brings is a big old brown spot. It's the first snowfall. It exposes roof leaks that you didn't know were there until you look up and see a big old brown spot on the ceiling. Don't go through winter with that old roof. With my half later, half never sale, homeowners save thousands. November's a great time of year to replace your roof.
Okay,
We're
20
cutting
feet
50% off the price of all roofing materials, and the half you do pay, you can pay us later with no payments, no interest for 12 months. So when guests come over, the only big old brown thing they see is a turkey. Call 1-800-279-5300. That's 1-800-279-5300. NewLookHomeDesign.com. November savings with half later, half never.
Traffic and weather, the day's top stories, and you. This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
Before he was a star of stage and screen and character on Saturday
Nicely
Night Live.
done with the long putt.
Spokesperson
okay,
for the
one under for
White
the round.
House. He was also the chief strategist for the Republican National Committee and their spokesman. He knows his way around an election or two.
Okay,
He's
here we
Sean
go.
Spicer, star of stage and screen. Sean, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Larry. Happy Election Day to you.
And same to you. All right, so you've seen a few midterms in your day, a few very successful midterms, in fact. What do you make of the energy on this midterm?
I think it's going to be fascinating because here's the thing that so everyone understands this. I mean, there's everyone talks about polls. Polls are predictive. They tell you where things are headed. It's a snapshot in time. You can see a trend or what have you. But they are not predictive in the sense that they are just literally that snapshot. They tell you what's working, what's not. I think we have really walked into the era of data. And we have seen so many places around the country where the early vote is huge. Now, again, here's the problem that people are having, the snap judgment. People voting early isn't a big deal.
And looks like around 195 yards to go.
Their voting schedule to vote earlier. The question that we're seeing, the question that has to be answered are these new voters, are these voters that generally don't vote in a midterm election suddenly coming out to vote in a midterm for the first time, or are they general election voters that do this? It's amazing, Larry, for all of the talk and the exit polls that I've seen in almost every one of the key battleground states, not necessarily the districts around the country, but in these states, whether it's Arizona or Montana, Texas, Republicans are either tied or leading in the early vote, which is fascinating because Republicans generally trail in the early vote.
Yeah. I'm same with you. I've looked at that and I've had to scratch my head. And explain to me how you just made an important distinction here. Explain to me how a Republican could do well statewide in a Senate race, but the key districts for the House could in fact go the other way tonight, because that a lot of people are having issues with that.
Well, I don't think you'll see it like this, but let me give you an example close to home. For example, if you looked at a state like Virginia, you could win theoretically as a Republican statewide and not necessarily do well in Northern Virginia, in Prince William, Fauquier, the city of Alexandria or Arlington. Mm-hmm. So you can run statewide somewhere and actually do very well. Or even in Texas, where Ted Cruz is running against Beto O'Rourke, you could do very well in Dallas and Irving, in areas in that sort of North Dallas, North Texas area, and yet get your butt kicked down in the San Antonio border area. And so part of it is always making sure that you're looking at the area that matters. And a lot of these races,
and now we find ourselves on hole number 14.
You've got both a statewide race and then these subset gerrymandered districts in it, where it's not necessarily equivalent to what the state looks like.
How important is the money here? We keep hearing a lot of people talking about the money, and the Democrat candidates on an individual basis seem to have raised more than Republicans, but on a party-wide basis, the Republicans have trounced the Democrats. Is that still very important for midterms versus a presidential election?
Yeah, it's actually a great question that you're asking, because money is crucial. Now, there's tiers of money, right? So the first tier is candidates raising and spending their own money is the best use of dollars. So what you're referring to and talking to is more Democratic candidates are outspending and outraising their Republican counterparts nationwide. There is truly a green wave of money more than anything else this cycle. Now, again, when you talk about the party committees, remember there's different party committees. The RNC has vastly outraised the DNC, but there are these other federal committees, the National Republican Congressional Committee, the NRCC, and the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. In that particular case, the Democratic Party Committee has vastly outraised the NRCC. And so it's always, at the end of the day, you got to throw it all in, but candidate money versus candidate money is really where it's always at, first and foremost, for a House race. Right. For Senate races and for presidential races, it's a little bit different because I think when you talk about the get out the vote,
you're on the green
money
with
and effort that is funded by the national parties make a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
And I think Democrats, there's no question that Republican donors need to understand after this election that we got swamped.
And did we get swamped on a grand scale, or did we get swamped because there are like 5 to 10 severely deep-pocketed Democrat donors who spread the money out in a big way this year?
Well, it's both. I mean, remember, you've got the George Soroses, the Tom Steyers, Michael Bloomberg's gun effort. They're funding these writ large big efforts. But we also got killed on the small dollar stuff, on these individual donors giving $50, $100, $1,000 to candidates directly. And so there's the overall movement, if you will, the right versus the left. But when you go down to federal candidate versus federal candidate, where you have to raise money in increments of $50, $400 or less, the Democrats have done a much, much better job. And the thing that's so funny, Larry, is
and that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
Which is X dollar to X dollar. It's not always a fair fight because money that you raised 2 months ago,
it's time to send this ball on its way.
To plan, that you can say, okay, this is how much media I'm buying. This is how many people I'm hiring. Getting a flood of cash in the last 10 days is somewhat useless because you couldn't use it in the most effective way.
Interesting. Real fast, we're almost out of time. Sean Spicer, what's the dark horse you're watching today? The upset race that you're watching, either state or House?
I'm running 2 in the Senate. I'm looking at Bob Hugin in New Jersey, who I think actually is giving Bob Menendez a run for his money. And I'm also looking at John James in Michigan, who has gone from being down about 25 points to incumbent
great contact,
Debbie
nice
Stabenow
swing,
to down single digits. If either of those guys actually come out on top, I think Republicans are going to have a massive night. One last point, Larry. This idea, history says...
Okay, we have about 130 yards, I'd say, to get to the pin.
And 38 seats in the House. I don't think either one of those are going to happen, not in the House, but I think more importantly, we're going to pick up seats in the Senate. Therefore, net-net, if you want to really analyze this historically, Republicans actually are going to have a, quote, good night, historically speaking.
Even if they lose the majority in the House by a slim margin. I agree with you. Sean Spicer, he's got a great podcast, by the way. It's called Everything's Going to Be All Right. He's hosting it with Katie Pavlich. Get that at iTunes. Sean, have a great night. I know it's going to be a late one.
Thanks, Larry, and I appreciate it. If you just go to SeanSpicer.com, you can get all the full spectrum of all the cool things going on.
All right. I will
Could be in the rough here.
Download the wallpapers, all that stuff. The whole thing. For the computer, not for my room. I wouldn't wallpaper my room with Sean. Well, maybe I would. Let's check in with Ed Rodriguez. He's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
You know you've got
I would.
sycophant. Northbound 270's jammed in Gaithersburg from Shady Grove up to Middlebrook in Germantown. Father Hurley Boulevard through the Clarksburg Lane drop. Westbound 66, we're still busy in Vienna from Nutley Street to 123, then in Centerville from the Fairfax County Parkway
Out to the Bull Run rest area now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain will shift out of here pretty rapidly tonight. Looks like the next couple of days are going to be nice. The rain is back by Friday, though, and much colder weather headed in by the weekend. Might not see highs getting out of the 40s for Saturday
that'll keep you at
Sunday.
1 under for the
coldest
round.
air so far this fall. Arriving here in Washington by the weekend. Rain
Okay, let's send
tonight.
this little ball on its way.
Lows around 50, partly sunny and mid-60s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau from the Weather Channel on WMAL.
60 degrees right now. Traffic and weather brought to you by Unbound.org.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Come to the Mervis Diamond Preview Show this weekend for colossal price reductions on diamonds and jewelry. Join us at Mervis Diamond Importers in Tysons and Rockville for our brilliant Mervis diamonds.
Solid
and latest
swing.
jewelry styles brought in for one preview weekend. Take advantage of special prices. The incredible value will leave you speechless. Don't miss the Mervis Diamond Preview Show.
All right,
Mervis Diamond Importers.
we're right
This
around
weekend
165
in Tysons
yards
and Rockville
out.
stores only. RSVP at mervisdiamond.com or call 800-HER-LOVE.
Honey, Rufus got out again.
When will that dog ever stop trying to get out of the yard?
When he can no longer find a way through the fence. Translation, when we get a new fence.
Yep, let's get Long Fence out here for a free estimate. I'll call him right now.
But Rufus...
You know, I heard Long Fence is offering 20% off all fencing for a limited time.
Well, Rufus wants to bug the neighbors for an unlimited time, so you better get him here fast.
Everything we do makes a difference at Long Fence. If you stand on it, we stand behind it.
Oh, I love this time of year. The fall is the best. There's a chill in the air, the leaves are changing, but it's also a reminder to get your rugs and carpets cleaned before the holidays. Look, for over 63 years, Adidas specialized in hand washing your delicate rugs and carpets. And now Joe has created a new menu of cleaning options for any type of rug and any type of budget. It's called Hadid Signature Service, ensuring the same quality of cleaning to every type of rug, from machine-made synthetics to the finest handmade silk. It's faster, more efficient, and will definitely save you money. Look, if it's been a little while since you got a quote from us, call back. Joe has a new express service that
Very
can definitely
nice.
save you money.
38-footer
and you still
here.
get the same
See what you can
VIP
do.
treatment. For a limited time, we're offering 15% off any implant rug cleaning. That's 15% off. To learn more about the new tiered pricing structure and all the new cleaning options, go to joehadid.com. That's joehadid.com.
History made tonight on these 2018 midterms. I'm handing it off now to our colleague and network icon, Mark Levin. He'll give you results and analysis for the next 3 hours, and then I'll be right back here at 9 p.m. for WMAL's full election coverage. Go nowhere. It's 6 o'clock in the nation's capital.
WMAL FM Woodbridge, WMAL Washington. Washington's election headquarters. Depend on it. WMAL, a Cumulus station. News now.
WMAL News at 6. I'm Maria Leaf. Democratic volunteers in Dulles have high hopes.
And
with
that'll
just
keep
an
you at
hour
1
left
under
to
for the
vote in
round.
Virginia.
A Democratic volunteer told me he's had to drive to all 14 precincts in Dulles
All
since
right,
people are simply
let's
running
let her
out of
rip.
Democratic sample ballots.
Well, what I've observed, and I was there with 2 Comstock volunteers, and they were taking the blue 3 to 4 to 1. That's impressive. I've never seen that before.
Turnout in this precinct is over 10 points higher than 2014, and that volunteer says it's the worst performing of the 14 in Dulles.
So I'm really optimistic that it's definitely going to be going blue.
In Loudoun County, I'm Win Delano on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Maryland voters have until 8 to cast a ballot, and people voting at Diamond Elementary School in Gaithersburg say the president is playing a role in their choices.
In liberal Montgomery County, it's not surprising to find people who aren't fans of President Trump. This woman came to vote against him.
Because I don't like what he's done with our country.
Heading towards
where
the beach
we're
here,
headed right
not
now.
the good
This
kind.
legal immigrant from Central America takes issue with the president's stance on illegal immigrants living in our country.
Everybody's here for a reason, for a better life.
This man wouldn't say whether he supports Mr. Trump or not, but said the current political climate has made him more passionate.
Right now we're living in, a very time where people are extremely vocal about politics.
In Gaithersburg, Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
There's a lot at stake in tonight's race for governor in Maryland beyond Larry Hogan's reelection.
Whoever holds the keys to the governor's mansion also gets a drafting table to draw the state's new congressional districts in 2020.
Well, at least you're out of this thing. 37-footer here. Let's see what you can do.
and that veto is not overturned, the governor's map becomes law.
Greg Klein, the director of Red Maryland, told Mornings on the Mall.
The real battle comes down to who ultimately will have control of this process. If it's Governor Hogan, he has the initial control. If his vetoes can be sustained, then he'll have ultimate control.
John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen says so far there have been no signs of breaches in election infrastructure.
I can confidently say that the 2018 elections will be the most secure election in the modern era. At this time, we have no indication of compromise to our nation's election infrastructure that would prevent voting, change vote counts, or distrust the ability to tally votes.
Checking your money tonight, the Dow finished the day up 173 points. The S&P 500 up 17. The NASDAQ up 47.
And that hole puts you up to even par.
Set up your Amazon Echo to hear Mornings on the Mall weekdays.
All right, let's pop this in the fairway.
Interesting.
Exactly.
For one-time setup, say, Alexa, enable WMAL skill. Then to listen, just say, Alexa, open WMAL.
See how I did that?
Details at WMAL.com.
This is a court-ordered notice. Current and former Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury owners or lessees can receive payments and other benefits from a legal settlement related to allegedly defective Takata airbags in their vehicles. To see if your vehicle is included and to file a claim, go to autoairbagsettlement.com or call 1-888-735-5596.
Now that was a swing.
Autoairbagsettlement.com or 1-888-735-5596.
Have you tried that trendy new dating app?
Okay, yeah, we found you in the rough,
just love to play games.
but I don't think
if you're
that
ready
it's
for something more grown
in the
up,
deep rough.
try the Match app. Over 30,000 new people a day are heading to Match for grown-up conversations that lead to great dates and beyond. Our listeners that go to Match.com can start for free today. View photos and informative profiles to get a deeper sense of the people you'd like to meet. Start for free today at Match.com. That's Match.com.
Need garage door repair? GarageDoorRepair.com.
We replaced our porch light with Maximus smart lights with camera and motion sensor. We get smartphone notifications when someone's at our door. Maximus,
Looks
easy
like,
to install and keeps our
I'd say around
family
110
safe. Get
yards or
Maximus
so
porch
to the
lights
pin.
and floodlights at Costco and Home Depot.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here's Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
And this report sponsored by Maximus Smart Security Lights at Costco. We're still jammed northbound on 270. It starts in Gaithersburg now at Shady Grove Road, getting up to Middlebrook. Then you're going to slow in Germantown from Father Hurley Boulevard through the Clarksburg lane drop. Westbound 66 still stalled out in Vienna from Nutley Street to 123 in Centerville.
You've got 21 feet to the cup from here.
Area. Eastbound 66 in Falls Church got delays from the Dulles connector to Sycamore Street, and again in Roslyn from the Roosevelt Bridge to Constitution Avenue. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Some good news tonight. If you still have to head to the polls, the rain has moved out of the area. Clear skies tonight, low 48. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 66. Sunny Thursday, highs in the upper 50s. It's 58 right now in Springfield, 58 in Gaithersburg, 60 at Reagan National. I'm Maria Leaf on Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Your shot to win $1,000 now. Text the national keyword BIG to 95819. That's BIG to 95819. Again, text BIG to 95819. We'll text you back to confirm your entry.
Good job out there. Anything's off even, Steven. All righty. Thanks very much for the round. I'm heading over to the clubhouse now. We'll see you next time.
Mark Levin at AM 630.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. This is the day. I am Mark Levin. Our number 877